I bought the house for $1. No, seriously, $1. It was part of a weird county auction for foreclosed properties, and I saw it online during a late-night rabbit hole of browsing Zillow and Reddit horror threads. The house was 2 states away from where I lived, but I was recently divorced, tired of people, and looking for a change. It's just a fresh start, you know? They said the house had structural issues, and that's why it was so cheap. But it had a roof, walls, and 4 acres of overgrown woodland. I didn't ask many questions. I just packed up and moved in the next week. The first time I saw the house in person, something in me hesitated. The paint was peeling like sunburned skin. The windows were all boarded up from the inside, and the grass was nearly as tall as my chest. But it had bones. Old, creaking, beautiful bones. The neighbors, or should I say the closest farm about half a mile away, never came to say hello. In fact, when I drove up the gravel path just to introduce myself, the man at the door stared at me for a long second before saying, you should leave. That house don't let go easy. Then he shut the door. Charming welcome, huh? That first night, I slept in a sleeping bag in the living room. There was no electricity yet, so I used candles. Around 2:30 a.m., I heard movement from beneath the floor, a dragging sound, then tapping, light, deliberate tapping. I thought maybe it was raccoons or rats. Old houses had that, right? I found the basement door the next morning. It was behind a false wall in the kitchen, hidden behind a thin layer of drywall. The doorknob was missing, replaced with rusted iron nails and what looked like old symbols etched into the wood. One word stood out: closed. I should have walked away then. I should have burned the house down and never looked back. Instead, I pried open the door. The air hit me first, thick, wet, like soil and rot and meat. The basement stairs groaned under my weight as I stepped down, flashlight trembling in my hand. The walls were lined with mirrors, not framed mirrors, just slabs of reflective glass, nailed directly into the wood. Most were cracked, some were shattered. And there, at the far end of the room, sat a chair, and in the chair sat a man, or at least something that once resembled a man. He was pale, long-limbed, with skin so thin it was almost translucent. His mouth was sewn shut with thick black thread, and his eyes followed me as I moved. Even though he didn't blink, even though he didn't breathe, I ran. Of course, I ran. I told myself I was hallucinating, that stress and isolation had gotten to me. But the next night, I heard him upstairs. Footsteps, one by one, dragging across the floorboards. I called the sheriff. He laughed, said, "You bought the haunted house, huh? Good luck with that." No one came. Over the next week, I found things moved around in the kitchen. Drawers opened, my keys inside the fridge, photos of myself, sleeping, taken from the foot of the bed. Each one was printed and pinned to the walls in the hallway. The basement door remained open, no matter how many times I nailed it shut. Then I found the journal, tucked beneath a loose floorboard in the upstairs bedroom. It belonged to the previous owner, a woman named Janine. Her last entry was chilling. He watches through the mirrors. He learns. He mimics. The only way to survive is to never let him see your face. Never speak his name. Never answer the knock. That night, I woke up to knocking. 3 sharp knocks on the wall beside my bed. But my bed sat in the middle of the room. There was no wall there. I turned and saw the man, standing in the air like it was solid ground, his head tilted, his sewn mouth twitching. In his hand, he held a mirror, and in it I saw myself, sleeping, forever, eyes open. I tried to leave the next day. Packed my car, didn't look back. I drove for hours before I realized the gas needle hadn't moved. The road didn't change. Every tree looked the same. Then I saw the sign. "Welcome to Mallow Creek. Population. You." I was back. The house never let me go. Now I sit here, in the basement, in the chair, surrounded by mirrors. I don't remember how long it's been. Sometimes I see people upstairs exploring, dreaming, excited to buy something old and cheap. And when they look into the mirror, I see my chance. One day someone will look long enough, and then I won't be the one sitting here anymore.